After some rest, you feel better. A shiver of cold comes over you. You sense no danger, but even so, you find yourself afraid.
I am what once was the Paladin Piotr. The sorrows of this land are my sorrows, and I cannot rest. Thou art a Paladin, and so shall share my fate. Unless ye ease the sorrows of this land and heal the pain.
No one seems to be listening. The staff feels warm and almost alive in your hand. You hear an eerie voice in your head.
This I must first do. The sacrifice of life for one of love.
You find yourself letting go of the staff very quickly. You feel the sensation of floating freely in a swirling cloud of magic. You are warm and safe, surrounded by the sound of peaceful beauty. You feel as if you are suddenly totally alive. You can remember every happy moment of your past, taste every favorite sensation, hear all the colors of the universe. This is the true joy of living. Suddenly, you find yourself trapped by darkness. You cannot breathe. The darkness is tearing the warmth, life, and magic from your body. Pain! The agony of lungs without air, the burning cold of a body trapped in ice, the terror of helplessness as death approaches. You float, cold and lifeless. You gradually wake, shaking off the shreds of dreams that cling to your memory. You already have some flowers.
Still you remain. It is a wonder you have managed to live so long.
You pick up 2 of the metal weights and put 1 in each of the baskets. Your legs are too stiff and sore to use this right now. Well, that was fun. 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 After some rest, you feel better. After some rest, you feel better. You greet the old man.
Good day. Have you seen my Anna? I am looking for my wife. She's been gone too long. I am trying to find Anna. Anna is so beautiful. I love her dearly. Have you seen Anna? I am looking for her.
Ah, you're just in time to witness a magnificent scientific experiment. I have managed to harness the very primal force of lightning at my beck and call. Now I shall use it to create life itself. Watch this. That was not quite the experimental result I expected. But never mind that. It is merely a momentary setback in the annals of science. I shall readjust the magnetic electrical stimulation system and try again another day.
You say hello to the scientist.
It is good to see you again. I trust the Antwerps gave you no trouble?
You tell Dr. Cranium about your first adventures in the Spielberg Valley. He seems vaguely interested in your tales of the Baron and his children, but his eyes positively light up when you mention the Antwerp.
Ah, so you are the Spielberg hero. I went there on an Antwerp gathering expedition a few months ago. The people there are still talking about your adventures.
You continue by telling Dr. Cranium of your encounters with the eccentric wizard Erasmus, the deadly kobold magic user, and the ogress Baba Yaga.
Turned her into a frog? Oh, such poppycock! There is a perfectly straightforward scientific explanation for all of those events. There is no such thing as magic.
You start to tell Dr. Cranium about yourself and your adventures, but he quickly interrupts.
But there is nothing so adventurous as pursuing a career in science. Did you know, for instance, that simple scientific principles can be applied to the creation of potions for healing and curing poison? Oh, I have been better. The failure of my MESS was a shocking experience, I can tell you. Understanding and harnessing the power of nature is just one aspect of science. By observing and performing experiments based on the observations, the scientist increases our understanding of the world around us. Here you are, one freshly brewed healing drink. Sip it if you get hurt, and its beneficial vitamins and other ingredients will help your body to recover quickly. Here you are, one freshly brewed universal poison antidote.
You ask Dr. Cranium if he can spare an empty flask for specimen collection.
Of course, of course. I am always delighted to assist scientific research of any kind, and I have plenty of flasks. You may have this one. Oh, this is a sad, ignorant land where everyone seems to think more of magic than of science. Still, it is a good place for a scientist to work. There are many fascinating monsters to study, and I can get all the dead bodies I need. Antwerps are a truly fascinating species. They reproduce by splitting into a number of tiny Antwerps, each with their own genetic code. They cannot split voluntarily, however. They only reproduce when cut or stabbed. My test Antwerps came from Spielberg Valley, where there was an Antwerp population explosion last spring. I have come to the conclusion that lightning is electrical in nature, which would put it in the realm of fire. Fortunately, there have been an increasing number of storms here lately, so I have been able to harness some of the lightning and store it for experimental use. I am convinced that the primal force of life is electrical in nature. Of course, it must also involve water for life, and pizza, without which life would be boring. My neighbor Nikolai is not actually as old as he now appears. He has been very unhappy since his wife's disappearance some 15 years ago. I can understand his disappointment. She never brought me back the berries I needed for an experiment.
You say goodbye.
Oh, it is always a pleasure to have one such as you visit. Perhaps I should wait a day or two before resuming my Frankie experiment. It is very important that the right person stay in charge here.
Welcome again to the gates of the Castle Borgov. I hope that you've been enjoying your visit to Moldavia. I am happy to know you're finding your way in Moldavia. I'm sure you will find this a most exciting place to visit. You have been very lucky so far in Moldavia. May you never meet something you cannot handle. I am very sorry, but I can only open this gate by the command of the master. The master seldom leaves the castle and has few guests. I do not know if anyone at the castle is named Katrina. My house is just inside the gates, and I seldom see anyone from the castle. Since the last boyar passed away many years ago, the castle has been uninhabited until recently. Now it is owned by the master, who is also my employer. It is not a bad job. I am paid well and on time. Be careful in your travels. You never know what you may meet. Good luck, and may your feet move faster than the thing that chases you.
You have a strange, disquieting feeling along with a sense of sorrow, longing, and unfulfilled desires as you near the lake. The briny lake seems to draw you towards it.
Hello there. Could you help me? This water is so cold and I need someone to help warm me. Thank you for the beautiful flowers. No one has been so nice to me since I can remember. I guess I shouldn't try to drown you now, since you've been so kind.
You tell the Rusalka about some of your previous adventures.
Gee, you've done a lot to get rid of monsters and things. You don't think I'm some kind of monster, do you? I mean, just because I'm undead and drown people, you don't think I'm bad? It is lonely being a Rusalka. Anytime anyone nice comes along, I pull him into the lake and drown him. Once he's drowned, he's not much company, I'm afraid. I've been a Rusalka for so long, I've forgotten. This lake is surrounded on 3 sides by steep mountains. To the southwest it merges with a swamp. The lake is not a safe place for you to swim. Many unpleasant things lurk in the deep water. The swamp is definitely a creepy place. Dead things lie under the water and try to drag the living underneath. Kinda sounds like my job description, doesn't it? Well, the things in the swamp are a whole lot nastier than I am, so be careful out there. I stay far away from them. They crawled into the lake from the swamp one day. Ugh, they remind me of worms and give me the creeps. I don't know much about the forest. I can't leave my lake, so I don't get around there much.
You ask what a nice girl like her is doing in a place like this.
I don't really know. I've been here for such a long time now. I mean, it's not like I can go anywhere. I can't leave the lake. It's my job to drown anyone who comes to the lake. That's what being a Rusalka is all about. I think I remember the town. I must have lived there once. Other than the fact it's somewhere to the northeast, I guess I can't tell you much about it. Please, come visit me again sometime. It's nice to have a friend to talk to. Thank you. That's really very sweet. You are the kindest man I know.
It's you again. It's been a quiet day so far. Made it back, did you? So what can I do for you this time? My sad departed husband. His name was Boris. Gone 3 years now. He was such a good man. What would you like to know about? Dr. Cranium is a very strange man. No one knows what goes on in the back room of his house, except maybe Igor, and he won't talk about it. Someday, the mad doctor will blow us all up with one of those experiments of his. You mark my words. You see, there used to be a very active adventurers guild here in town, but it's been empty and locked up since I can remember. Our burgomaster is named Dimitri. He is responsible for keeping order in the town, and he is very serious. But there was some scandal about his grandmother, but it was hushed up. He's a strange one, isn't he? Digging graves and carving tombstones during the day, helping that crazy Dr. Cranium at night. You know he's not up to any good. Decent folk have nothing to do with him. This used to be such a nice place to live. Things can only get worse, as my Boris used to say. With the swamp cutting us off and keeping visitors away, business is poor. With so many monsters running around at night, won't surprise me if we wake up one morning and find we're all dead here. Things haven't been too busy lately. I have plenty of time to get caught up with my knitting. I expect you plan on going adventuring some more. Well, I suppose the gravedigger has some room left at the cemetery? Yeah, good night, and don't let the bedbugs bite, as my husband used to say.
Hello.
Two and two make six. A little bush is in a fix. If you save a plant from goo, I can help you with a clue.
Colourful wagons surround the fire pit in this authentic Moldavian gypsy camp. You've heard that gypsies like to keep to themselves, but surely they won't mind just one visitor. You sense a feeling of wariness from around you. You are clearly not welcome here.
Go away! We allow no strangers in our camp! Leave immediately!
You greet the man and the wolves.
Leave! You are not welcome!
You introduce yourself.
We care not who you are! Just leave! These wolves will soon be at your throat if you do not go. Leave here! I lose my patience, and soon these wolves will tear your throat! We gypsies do not want strangers here. Go away, or the wolves will gnaw your bones. Go away! This camp is ours!
You say goodbye. The young man just glares at you. Pick a few of the beautiful flowers. After some rest, you feel better.
Hello? Do you have any news? So, you haven't been eaten yet. We'll see how long you last traipsing about everywhere when you should be staying in this nice, safe town.
You tell Olga that the gatekeeper's name is Boris Stovich and ask if they're related.
Aha! So that's where the so-and-so went. Huh? Tell him he's a rotten no-goodnik.
Tell Olga about what you've been doing in Moldavia.
And be sure and keep me informed. I need to know everything that goes on around here. Someone's got to have a clue after all. Ha! That Noah can't fool. If you see him again, tell him he's a lady louse and a swamp scum besides. Now, what would you like to know about? Yuri hasn't been the same since his daughter was stolen away 2 years ago. Gypsies took her, I told him so. Never listens to me though. He's not doing much business at the inn either, except for those lazy excuses for farmers that hang out there, and an occasional visitor. He'd go broke. The Borgovs used to live in the castle north of town. The last Borgov was said to have disappeared under suspicious circumstances. However, no one seems to know just what happened to him. Ah, vampires is it? There's talk that those strangers up in Castle Borgov are never seen by day and can't abide the smell of good old garlic. If you are going to do any wandering outside town, make certain you have some garlic with you, just in case. You know, old Nikolai has been crazy for years. Never could get over the loss of his wife, Anna. It has been years since Anna has been gone, before I even was married. Lost in the woods she was, and eaten by something terrible, so it said. Oh, they were such a happy couple. Now Nikolai's just crazier than a chicken with its head cut off. You take care. Don't want to see your funeral. You hate that walk to the cemetery. Yeah, good night, and don't let the bedbugs bite, as my husband used to say.
After some rest, you feel better. After some rest, you feel better. After some rest, you feel better. The stone carvings on the dark building seem to writhe in the moonlight. You get the feeling that they are hungry and waiting for something or someone. A sense of great danger and hunger comes from near the door of the massive stone building. You push the Dark One sign into the indentation on the door. It fits perfectly. This is a no longer used monastery. The furnishings are in poor condition, and the carpet and drapes are faded and threadbare. The symbols of the Dark One make this an uncomfortable place to be. A long wooden table attests to a time when this room was used to double as a communal dining room for the monks. This is a fairly attractive, in a Baroque way, display cabinet with a glass door. This amazingly lifelike sculpture looks like a cross between a baby troll and a hermit or dervish. It fits the description of a domovoi, except that it's totally dried out and unmoving. You don't think you should break someone else's property. It just isn't the honorable thing to do. Of course, if you had a way to destroy the entire evil abode, you'd do it in a second. Nice consistency of belief, eh? This is an antique brass log holder. There doesn't seem to be anything special about this one. There are some small scratches on the stone underneath this brass log holder. The fireplace looks as though it hasn't been used in years. There are no logs on the log holders, nor is there any sign of ashes or other debris. It's a six-tentacled, octopus-like creature. I guess you'd call it a hexapod. Unless you like cats, then you might call it a hexapus. Hector the hexapod happily gorges itself on the garlic. Hector looks much less hungry and perhaps a little less dangerous now. There is a cold feeling down here that chills your bones and sets the hairs on the nape of your neck on end. There is a musty odor of mold and mildew mingling with the sickeningly sweet smell of decaying flesh. Welcome to your nightmare. This is a dangerous place. You probably knew that. Handle with care. An incredible sensation of evil emanates from over by the book. That seems like an excellent thing to avoid.